Hale in his 200th game. A combination of North Melbourne and Hawthorn. Start of the second term. Can the Dockers do better? They need to. Hale. And Sandilands again. Sandilands very conscious of Hale. Hale marginally won that one. Crowley and Mitchell. Crowley hacks it forward down towards right half forward. Cheney arrives first. In his hip pocket was Pavlich. Over the football, Birchall tries to knock it out to support. Didn't work. Lewis did well. Back to Birchall. Gave it to Suckling. Pulls it across his body. And close to the boundary line, Mazungu takes it out.
So Cheney starts again on Pavlich. He wasn't on him for the whole of that opening term. They rotated a bit. Notice Gibson up on the wing to start the quarter. Sheridan was matching him up. So such a versatile team, Hawthorn. We've talked about that. Langford. And there is Gunston up on that wing. Getting the ball forward. Over the back, Simkin to Hale. Then Hale. Good kick, actually. Gives the job. Brilliant mark from Smith. It was a clever kick from Hale.
He came off the ruck contest and just charged forward, which is obviously the plan against Sandlands. So any ruck dominance by Sandlands certainly isn't happening. The Hawthorn Bigger, Hale's been good.
It's a great football story, Smith, isn't he? He and a couple of other mates, we'll hear about it at half-time, about how they play country football in New South Wales. So Smith, good kick. They've got 7 different goal kickers now. He was so likeable from the first time we saw him. I reckon it was at Footy Park in Adelaide, actually, and he's just been terrific to watch from the go. A mature age recruit.
Yeah, good size, got good height, and he's got great running ability. So that he just complements the Lewis and Mitchell and Hodgie, those kind of Sewell, those midfielders for Hawthorn, because he's the real winger type runner in the old positional speak.
And there's Gareth Hibbertson, obviously with the crook shoulder, as Dr. Ryan White spoke about, looking like a sizable bit of time on the boundary line.
44 plays 8. Sandilands on the way down. Miss Mundy on the fly. Hale kicks it towards half forward. Rioli. Lewis. There's trouble. Birchall goes inside the forward 50. Pinpoint accuracy. Simpkins got it. Wants to go. Man on the mark. Right on the line. Simpkin looks to the middle. Thought about going to Hill. Now he sends it down towards Siegler. Fisted away there by McFarlane. Smith. 2 in a minute. Well, it's a rout. Isaac Smith hadn't seen a lot of the football in the opening term. Now has 2 goals from 5 possessions.
It's the ball out of the middle. If it's not to be Matthew Pavlich into the middle of the ground, Fremantle need to put a contested style player. They've lost Fyfe and they've lost Barlow. Whether it's
who have they got? You look around, who is that contested in close play? Well, Pavlich we know has been, is the big.
Yeah. But
you look around the field, Mazungu mainly. Maybe get a big body in there.
And the other one I was thinking maybe Chris Main. You know, he's got to just get him in there, get some physical presence in there. Contested possession at the moment is 58 to 35. They're just getting smashed by the bigger bodies in the guts there of Hawthorn.
This is the highest score they've conceded all year in a match. And what, 3 minutes into the second quarter. So Hills kick forward. Pavlich getting rid of Cheney. Well done. Use the body. Dean Cox this weekend equals Glenn Jakovic on 276. Matthew Pavlich will be the first player from out west to get to 300. What a career. 294 tonight, 585 goals, including that opening goal tonight. A remarkable footballer over such a long time. He's the prototype, isn't he? Look at that physique, that height, that power. Could almost play anywhere, you'd think. And gets Fremantle's second goal and his second goal. It will be interesting when he retires. I mean, he probably needs a flag in one way, but just where he's going to sit on the all-time list. I mean, he's been an All-Australian so many times. Tom, he's got to be pretty high up there, doesn't he?
Oh, he absolutely has to be. And it's almost now, well, it is now for Matthew Pavlich and for the Fremantle Footy Club to just top that up for his career. But in our generation, when I say our generation, the generation I played in, he's certainly top 5.
He's a Hall of Famer, and he may even be a legend eventually.
Yep.
great centre bounce clearance, but look how Pavlich protects his space. He can actually just lean forward to make sure, we didn't quite see it, that Cheney can't come back into his marking space. He can't shove him, get a free kick, but he just held his ground, held his space.
Good bounce, Hale up early. Mitchell did well, Puopolo put down strongly. Lewis gave it to Suckling, Burgoyne, but they're going backwards. Good pressure from the Dockers. Clever kick there from Gibson. Giray comes wide, finds Shields. There's a runner alongside. Lewis, he can go over the top. The danger man Smith, he's hot at the moment, right on the wing. Looks down towards half forward. Nicely done. Dunstan came to the football. He's about 75 metres from goal. Two to choose from if you don't mind. Goes to the wide man and Shields. And on the mark on the 50. Sorry, Bruce. Bruce goes towards the middle. Lunging at it, Hale. Squirts out of the pack. Ballantyne put the body in, did well. Suckling tries to flick it back. Burgoyne. Shields in trouble. Ballantyne jams it on the boot. Wide. Pavlich and Cheney. Cheney heads for the boundary. This will be an interesting call. Deliberate, says the umpire.
He didn't need to. He got the angle wrong. He should have belted it down the line, shouldn't he?
No, that was an easy call, certainly deliberate.
Hanneth. So the Dockers trying to get back-to-back goals here. Kicks to the top of the square. Rolling off the ground from Crowley. He's good at that. And it's a behind. He's had a night of near things tonight, Crowley, hasn't he? Just things haven't quite gone his way. I was trying to work out, Tom, before the match, the last time he'd been stitched up in a game, and you suggested Hanbury?
Yeah, Hanbury, I think, hit 3 or 4 goals on him early in the game, and really that's the only...
And we're going back a bit. That was in Perth, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we couldn't think of another game, so he's been the premier defensive midfielder of the comp for a while now.
So he might have been at the SCG, can't remember exactly, but it was sort of mid-last year, so no, he's had a remarkable run. Mitchell.
Simpkin, rough head. Feeds it back inside the centre square. Gibson, well, that was ambitious by Mitchell. Main gave it across to Pavlich, kicks inside the forward 50. It's 4-on-1 down there. Ballantyne working hard, but he's the one. Spangler comes out, Giray, Rioli, and again runners. Look at them. 3 to choose from this time. Smith can go over the top. He's got a smorgasbord down there as well. Goes short. Ziegler. Hand passes to Suckling. Suckling gets around the man, goes with the outside of the boot, just setting it up. Puopolo, well played down there. The defender held his ground. Neal fell to Roughhead, but he misses. Well, not the toughest opportunity, but well done by Neal initially. Real strength by the little man. Dug in his foxhole and wouldn't be moved.
Yeah, he made a huge difference, didn't he? Look at those numbers. Just got to get the ball for a while here. Sutcliffe to Johnson. Gibson to cut it off on Hannah. Close to the line. Rioli with him. Well played, Gibson. Back to Rioli. Rioli's on song tonight again. Just feel like he might have a breakthrough year, Rioli. And that would be something. That's high stuff, a breakthrough year from him. Now Suckling. Just denying him space, the dog. Burgoyne. Now Birchall. They've got the angle right for him now. Kicks a good one. This is where Bruce was a couple of minutes ago, where he went to centre half forward. Now, he's probably 3 or 4 metres too far out. Well, Suckling's further out, but he might be within range. Here we go. It's a good-looking kick. It won't quite. And Mzungu got back, and it will be a behind. Such a weapon, isn't it, Suckling, from 60 metres on. He and Birchall, main hurt, trying to pick himself up here. He looks in a bit of strife.
There's De Boer. Little chip outside the defensive 50. Mzungu on the stretch. Now they've got men inside the centre square, the Dockers. The long man is Hill. Hill, unfortunately, a left footer, cramped for room, could only go one way. Kicks it down towards the pocket. Touched. Chance for Walters, though. Trying to run around Spanger. Pulls it back towards the middle from behind Crowley. Oh, the ball eludes him. How about that? It bounced on its point. He had it surrounded, and somehow it got away as Main was coming off the ground. 52 plays 16. And this is something akin to last year's grand final. The ball wasn't always kind to Fremantle in that game either, but that was a lot closer. And tonight Hawthorn making their own breaks. It's not about the footy.
And the numbers are a worry, General. The sub already activated, and Main doesn't look too good, does he? In fact, I think he's going straight down into the race here. Yep, he's going down. Yeah, let's see how it happens.
Just planted his left foot there and came over straight on the top. That looks nasty.
So De Boer's kick to the advantage of Simpkin. He had to wait for it. Does he get the bounce? He's not the quickest player, but Hill's very quick. So the 32s take one another on, and Hill was always going to win that race. Well done, Simpkin, just to keep the pressure on. Back to the sub in Sheridan, back to De Boer, and De Boer spreads it. The bounce important. Now, here's an interesting race too. Hanneth and Hale. Gee, that rolled off the tongue pretty well, Dan Hanneth and Hale. Could be a series, I reckon, like a pretty sort of detective series.
Maybe, because you wouldn't sell many tickets to a foot race. Short one comes into Hill. Hill goes across the ground, peeling off his Gibson. Gibson looks inside the forward 50. So good at dropping the eyes. And Brewster's taken the mark.
They are pretty to watch. They're just their foot skills. Their teammate goes into the right spot. They get used instantaneously, but the skill execution is so good. They always seem to kick the ball to the favoured position, allow their teammate to move into the footy. Fantastic skills as a team.
He's got one goal. He's kicking from 45. This one is working back too. How about that? A little left to right. Another one as the Hawks put on a clinic on Friday Night Football.
Yeah, they've been impressive. I sort of feel like, I mean, they're sitting on what you think's a match-winning lead already, don't you? I mean, just their ability to find those targets, to kick to space, players running into space. We talked about it last week. You just feel like they've got high IQs in terms of their football. I mean, they're smart players. They play a smart game.
Well, this is why Hawthorn is so good, and it started there with Burgoyne on his opposite leg, his left leg into Birchall. That set it all up. It opened up the other side of the ground. It allowed Gibson to run off his opponent from defence, gets it in, goal. But it was Burgoyne that started it.
Good stuff, Richo. So, Roughhead to Suckling, who arches back and kicks to full forward. Bruce, McFarlane, within Gunston, Langford. Well done, Langford, hooking back. It might be a goal. It is. Oh, yes, what a night. The boy has got his first. Langford gets his first goal in the AFL. It's a famous Hawthorn name.
Fantastic finish. I mean, we saw the game last Sunday when Melbourne had more disposals, but got beaten by about 90 points. Hawthorn have had about 80 more disposals, but every one of those is important, which is why they've all of a sudden kicked 10 goals from 23 inside 50 entries. They are so dangerous every time they go into their forward half.
Without being disrespectful to West Coast, this is a lot more exciting than what happened here last Sunday, I can tell you. You were here, Dan.
What was that, mate?
I said this is more exciting than what happened last Sunday with Melbourne and West Coast.
I enjoyed that.
Well, you're an Eagle from way back.
Hey, steady. 64-16. One down by Sandilands. Coming through as De Boer. Sandilands. Hand passes about 15 metres to no one in particular. First to arrive, though, at Docker. Well played by Pearce to Neal. Kicks inside the forward 50. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to the big guy. Hanneth is getting the free about 25 metres out.
Josh.
Can you please just have a look?
No, I'm not going to look. I saw it the first time. You grabbed his arm.
It's got to be both ways, brother.
But you're grabbing his arm.
But what? Is a jumper not grabbing?
No.
Be honest.
Mark here.
You can grab jumpers.
Had a point, Gibbo.
Yeah, it's my favourite umpire, so I'm backing off. So Hanneth, I think Gibbo had a point. 25 metres out, and he's pulled it, and he's missed it.
He really has become a top-line defender, Josh Gibson, and given the size differential he often gives away, surprised it doesn't happen more often that he holds onto arms like that. He rarely infringes his opponent. He's got the craft of defensive work down pat.
Right from the top shelf. There's Smith in the back pocket, had it cocked, didn't go. Now he goes short. It's taken by Giray.
Get some distance. Segler was a target. Bruce Back they come, Simpkin. Lewis to Burgoyne, and then Burgoyne. Good kick. Hill couldn't quite, and a boundary throw in. It's been good, Hill. Burgoyne's so poised at the back there. We talked about in pre-match lead, talking about that vision last week, where he's able to find a way back from the boundary line and create a goal. So good news there with Maine. It's been a surprising night. Hawthorn have been absolutely brilliant tonight. Langford celebrating his opening goal. Burgoyne, Birchall, Shields, Lewis, and then Lewis goes back to Segler. So Segler, the late inclusion for McAvoy, just his third game tonight. Played a couple last year, including the match where they got stitched up against the Tigers here on that wet Saturday afternoon.
Lewis feeds it back. Gibson again. Cheney is on. Gibson knew he was moving and without looking got it to Cheney. Cheney short. Suckling looks down towards the 50. A delightful kick. Oh, what a good mark too. Strong hands by Hill. Duffield just a half step away, but Hill took a very strong mark. Centering kick. Ballantyne put the body in. That hurt. Coming up behind him was Hale. Spur scrambles a kick out of defence to the wing. Spanger launched himself. Opportunity for Pavlich. Good. Well, it was the idea that was right. The hand pass not so flash, but he went to the numbers. Simpkin went to the big man. Not his intention. Sadlands takes the mark at half back. Comes out wide. Pavlich and Birchall. Well, a little bit of good grab. Missed it. Birchall recovered. Spanger inside the forward 50. Sutcliffe went at the ball, but it was wide of him. Oh, Gunston missed Puopolo. Tracks it back. Hill's got it now. 52 metres out. They reload. High ball in, but Spur uncontested.
Hill and half back. And getting it from Spur. Crowley the target, couldn't quite take the mark. Main involved with Spanger. A lot of hair in that bit. Then Crowley hooking around. Pearce is up forward a bit at the moment. That's a good looking kick, and he's found Pavlich. And he's a one-man band at the moment. Wayne, these are the sorts of goals that we talk about, don't we? That, I mean, they're a long, long way back. They're probably too far back, but he's kicked a couple, and every little bit helps.
Well, it's a must. It's a must-kick goal, isn't it, by the captain? And he's actually been one that's been okay, Bruce. I've never seen Fremantle not be able to block space. I mean, Hawthorn have found more space against this Fremantle side than I think any side has found.
That's a good point. So he's the only Fremantle player to take a mark inside the forward 50 tonight. And he's missed it. So they've missed a couple. I mean, Hanneth really should have goaled. That one, well, 50-50 maybe. Slightly better for Pav, but scoreline, well, that tells reflects pretty much what the story's been tonight.
Wayne, do you think we've seen a vulnerability with Fremantle defending on the vast expanses of the MCG?
You mentioned this to me before the game, Tom, and I thought the dimensions of the MCG was similar to Subiaco, but this ground is a lot wider, so obviously there's more space. But evidence of tonight, I mean, there's just, Hawthorn are finding space all over the ground.
Yep.
Gibson got it from Mitchell down towards half forward. Siegler comes across, gathers the footy, goes to Gunston. Gunston with a lot of confidence to Hale, and why not? Hale is forward of the wing. Numbers in the middle. And there's an overlap on the outer side, 2-on-1. Simpkin. No, it's gone now. Pearce gets back to cover a man on the outer side wing as the short one goes to Burgoyne. He's about 65 metres out. Now that man, who was covered momentarily, gets free at Suckling. Well, Suckling was a long kick, but this would test him. He's in the centre square. He's about 75 metres from goal. Cheney is long. Ignores that. Goes towards the goal square. In from the side. Fisted away by De Boer. Gunston to Bruce in trouble. Slips a hand pass away. Langford. Langford's hand pass. Goes low down for Roughhead. Controlled it well. Brilliant gather, Jurai. But then the kick was a shocker. Out of bounds on the full.
I think the other problem with Freo tonight is they haven't been winning the clearances in the middle. They're not getting first use of the football, getting it into their forward line, locking it in there, and then they can't set up behind it, which they've done so well over the last few years.
Well, no Fyfe and no Barlow, and Mundy only 6 possessions.
He's been low, hasn't he, in terms of those numbers? Held up here. What do you think, Wayne? I mean, can the Dockers come back from here?
Oh, look, they need to kick a couple of quick goals, don't they? I mean, if they don't kick a couple of quick ones before half-time, you'd suggest that it's a long way back against last year's premiers, and they're just pretty much telling us all that let's not write us off for back-to-back, and Fremantle have got a lot of work to do.
I mean, we did see a big third quarter against Hawthorn last week, didn't we? But this would be even more remarkable. Burgoyne's kick's a good one to fall forward. Puopolo, and that one, and they're looking for a free Gunston, and it's a behind. Essendon came from a long way back at half-time last week to get the nose in front.
Part of that, I mean, stopping Hawthorn scoring is their immediate problem, but if they can get within 5 or 6 at half-time, well then they've got 2 quarters to go to reel it in.
So these next minutes critical here. Just got to protect their back half, protect the scoreboard, and hopefully chip away with a goal or two before half-time, Waters.
Deep inside the 50, Pavlich hands to it, knocked away by Cheney. I don't think I've seen a disparity like this for a long time. Possessions, as we approach half-time, Hawthorn 220, Fremantle 114.
And they have been the benchmark, and quite rightly so, for being the hardest side to play against Fremantle. So that's the area that Ross would be most disappointed about.
Mundy hooks towards goal. Back goes Cheney, and he knocks it across the line. So Mundy quiet so far, just the 7 possessions. A restricted free agent at the end of the season. Well, as Buddy proved, I think the term free agent is the biggest oxymoron in sport, isn't it? Here's Suckling to himself, runs to the pocket. I think he'll be sought after, keenly sought after, David Mundy. Fremantle very anxious, no doubt, to retain him. There's a beautiful kick from Subban, back to the middle. Crowley's got it, runs inside the 50. Kick is on the way, and again they've tucked one wide.
So you mentioned the Mundy's not getting much of the ball. I'm sure there's a bit of a tag team. Lewis and then sometimes Langford seem to be trying to take that Mundy matchup.
And Lee last week, Langford actually ran with Watson for a while.
Yeah, and he's becoming a useful player, only playing his 4th game. He is a young guy getting close to being in their best team, I suspect.
Well done, Ruffy. He just out-positioned Mzungu. He's got a bit of weight and height advantage, but he played it beautifully. And speaking of Langford, he dropped that one, but he's okay. He's on Duffield at the moment. We've talked about Hill. Back to Ruffy. Ruffy sort of lopes forward, and then a penetrating kick. Bruce held, and the Shields maybe held on to. Burgoyne will get a free. Well, it's actually Poppy's free. I thought Burgoyne was held on to coming through there. No, that's Poppy there. I thought that was a Burgoyne hold on to.
It's a dead giveaway when you're feeling the pressure as a defender, when you start to cuddle your direct opponent. You know the ball's coming in a lot, and there are some nervous Fremantle defenders at the minute.
It's my wedding anniversary today. Anyway, Poppy's kicked the second.
Not nervous about your wedding anniversary, are you, Bruce?
No, and he's in Adelaide and I'm here, but it's 20 years today, Tom.
Congratulations, well done.
Tommy made him very defensive.
I feel like a Fremantle player right now. Very defensive. Do you like Tom in the glasses too, Dan, don't you?
Very studious, yes, I do.
Could do an ad, Tom, I reckon.
I see Wade in the glasses, the horn rings.
Strictly off camera at the moment, Bruce.
A bit of nonsense then, but Poppy got his second, eh?
71 plays 20. Fremantle under 4 minutes to half-time. Just reeling. It's a good bounce. On the way down, Hanneth almost. Shields went to ground. Subban dives in. He's claimed immediately.
Well, Langford's the son of Chris Langford, who's ex-Hawthorn champion, current AFL commissioner, but he went to Hawthorn as a New South Wales zone selection or something, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He went to the Cranbrook School, one of the most prestigious private schools in Sydney, at a time when AFL wasn't played in the school system, so he's had to really work hard to get his spot on the list. And often you've seen it so many times where a player comes in, not necessarily as a high draft pick, has to work really hard for his career, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like him. Chris Booter, 33 goals in 303 matches, obviously like the threes. And his son got his first career goal tonight for the Hawks. Giray takes off, aided and abetted there by Birchall. A high ball towards the wing. Puopolo missed it. Been pushed in the back. Down goes Hill at the top of Crowley. Puopolo. Second effort, Simkin Well, Gibson almost found a way through under pressure, kicks it out of bounds on the full. So under 3 minutes to half time. And it's the Hawks by 51. They led by 30. So they haven't stopped. 30 at quarter time. So just pushing on towards the break. Here's Sutcliffe.
Goes down the line. One of Pavlich was a poor kick. Cheney just didn't do well there. Langford misses Gibson and a boundary throw in. Cheney may be a bit surprised. John Kennedy there and the Hawthorn faithful took Hawthorn to their first flag in 61. So since the 60s, Hawthorn have won 11 flags. Carlton next on 8. What a club they've turned out to be. Lee, of course, the centre stone of that big run in the 70s and 80s. Must be very proud, Lee, of the club.
Oh yes, it's been a magnificent 40 or 50 years for anyone who's had the brown and gold interest, either players or coaches or administrators or the fans who are the constant over that 50 years.
We saw Dipper tonight, didn't we, before the match, working the crowd in front of us. Larger than life as always. Bruce trying to get through. Toe poke from Lewis.
Spills wide of the pack. Uopolo. Back goes De Boer. He pushes to the line. The umpire says throw it in. Certainly so many good times to remember for the Hawks, but I also always remember the passion of Don Scott. Boundary throw in about 70 metres out. Scott and Matthews. What a powerful combination with Tuck between them. There's a chance for Bruce. 55 metres out. Bounces one across towards Roughhead. Comes back to Shields. Centering kick under pressure. McFarlane bounced off his chest. Hill with a chance to do some damage. Goes a fair way. Hasn't got the distance. It's marked by Duffield.
I heard the umpire Sheridan. Sub again tonight. He's been a sub in about half the last dozen matches he's played. He and Sutcliffe have been subs a lot. Pearce trying to get the ball back. Gunston, such a clever player, Gunston. He's beautiful, isn't he, with the ball in hand. It's a poor effort from Hill. That's about the first mistake he's made. He's been terrific. Pearce, Cheney did well. Mitchell's hands are normally superb. Gunston off a step, back to Gibson. And then Gibson to Smith. We've seen them play some great footy over the last 7 seasons, but this is one of the best halves they've played.
Can't get much better than they've done this half of footy.
No, they've been brilliant.
High ball from Smith. Burgoyne, clever mark. Oh, how instinctive was that? Just knew where the man was going to be. Bruce. Up comes Roughhead. He's marked inside the 50. That was classic. That's for the highlight reel at the end of the season. Take the mark. Don't look. Man just running to space. Leading full forward.
Highlights their elite kicking skills. They're actually 10% better than every other side in the competition at retaining the ball when they kick the ball inside their forward 50. And if you've got those sort of stats, you're going to kick a lot of goals.
Roughhead going at his second then. Oh, that is marvellous. Right over the umpire's hat. Roughhead has 2. And the lead extended for the Hawks.
So Hawthorn are now at what they scored in the grand final last year against Fremantle, 77 points.
12 goals, a good half of footy, no matter who you're playing against. Fremantle, that's about a match worth, isn't it? Look at the 60 minutes.
The disposals there, Lee. Hawthorn 256, they're on target for 500. Fremantle 124. So we're marvelling at their offensive power and the way they're using the ball and carrying the ball. And obviously they've got the ball, so Fremantle don't. But their defensive pressure has been extreme.
It's just a fantastic exhibition of the way to play Australian rules football. Get a lot of ball in hand, but they're scoring prolifically from those disposals.
And Lee, there's always 2 tails to every story. So as good as they've been, we look at Fremantle and we say, wow, they've been opened up like we didn't think was possible, haven't they? And here they go again. And it's been magnificent stuff. Gibson got it from Rioli to Hill out wide. Hill ducking and getting around Mzungu. Not a bad kick to Langford. He could have come this side. Langford decided not to. Lewis was going to toe poke it forward. Always thinking. Gets it forward. Freo trying. Sheridan. This is Stephen Hill. Switches the hands. Pearce on the left foot out wide. Ballantyne takes the mark. But look at that clock. And look at that first half score. Remarkable. Well, growing up, you used to hear the term champagne footy a lot, didn't you? We just saw it there. We saw the champions of last year produce a champion first half of football. 10 goals, the difference in terms of goals. So on a big Friday night, we've got a big half-time coming up. Yep, that scoreboard is right. It's 12-5 to 2-8.